Hello again, thanks for joining. Today we've got three coaches to have a look at. They're vintage old Marklin models in these green boxes. I think they're all different. I've not actually had these out the boxes yet, and I got them all in a job lot with a whole bunch of other stuff. It's going to be quite interesting to have a look at these and see how they're faring. The boxes aren't looking too bad at all, considering that these are very old models. This one at the top actually has written here, "To Elizabeth with love from Timmy," so this was obviously given as a gift at some point, which is quite interesting. On the end of this box it has the number 4032, made in Western Germany of course, and it says Die Zugwagen mit Schlussenlichtern. I think that's how you pronounce it in German, but that sounds like it has lighting. This one has 4045 on it, but this is an aftermarket sticker that's been put on here, so I'm not sure whether it's the right model inside the box. It implies it's a DSG Spieselwagen, but I'm not sure about that. Final one has 4057 written on it, and again it has the Spieselwagen from the DSG, and that is a picture of it on the end here, so we might actually have that in here. But let's get these open and we'll check them out. So this is number 4057, or at least that's what the box is telling me it is. And it is indeed a DSG Spieselwagen. It's quite an interesting model. I love the colour scheme on this, but it's really quite crude and it is showing its age a bit. It's all made of metal, this one, and it even has flush fit glazing with some really nice silver surrounds on the windows. You can see inside this coach, but there isn't actually any interior. We've also got a pressed steel chassis as well with no detail on it at all, but it does say Marklin made in Western Germany there in the middle. And the bogies have got a metal frame but plastic end parts, and there's actually quite a lot of detail on those end parts. Looks pretty good actually, quite deep relief. We have this coupling and the buffers hanging out the front of the bogie on this little piece here. It is very crude by today's standards. We also have some metal steps, and this piece here is a piece of plastic which has been added on as a gangway connector. The rest of it all on here is just printed onto the metal. It does look as though the roof is a separate piece. The finish on that is actually really good, very nicely painted, although it is wearing off a little bit on some of these air vents, possibly just because of the age. You can easily see all the decals that are being put on here, and all the numbers as well, and DSG logo is pretty good, but that's a good opener. Let's get one of the other ones open and have a look at it. Okay, this one is boxed as number 4045. It's a Trans-Europe Express and it has the Deutsche Bundesbahn logo up here. It's the same colour, it obviously matches with the Spieselwagen, the DSG one we just had a look at, but this is a first class coach. On the other side it has a different window configuration, but again, like the first one, it has got really good printing on it, and it's all made of metal as well. I do like how the doors have the windows half open as well, and the little handrail there is actually an extra piece of wire that's just been added in. The roof again is very nicely presented. This one has got a little chimney or air vent up here. I'm not quite sure what that is. But aside from that, it's almost identical to the first one in terms of fit and finish. And it seems to have the same bogies and certainly the same setup when it comes to the coupling and buffers. Let's open up the last one. So this is number 4032, and yes, we definitely do have lighting on this one. You can see the contraption underneath here. It's designed for 3-rail pickup. That's why it's got this little skid here. And it's got the connector at the back. It's very loose, but it does actually fit in there. And inside, I think there might be something happening here which is maybe fallen away, or maybe it's just how the lighting is transmitted up to the roof. But there's definitely a piece of plastic or something inside this coach. But there is no interior again. This one is a DB first class coach in this lovely blue colour. The windows aren't quite as well done as the first two coaches we saw, but the roof is similarly very good, although this one does have a bit of rust on it as well. These are getting very old, and if you don't watch, they do rust sometimes. The printing on this one is clear as well, even down to the numbers down here beside the toilet. But we don't have wire handrails at the door. We do have it printed on along with the door handle. At the end of this one, instead of it being printed on, we actually have little red blobs there, and we have some silver picked out here on the partition doors as well. Very similar bogies, and again the coupling and buffers are attached in the same way. So I think we'll put some power onto this coach and see if the lighting actually works. So I'm just going to use an H&M controller here on 12 volts DC, just prod at it with some wires because I don't have any 3-rail track at the moment. So we do have lighting on this coach, but it's just at one end. It's not being transmitted along the length of the coach. And I now realise at this end of the coach, the lights are just printed on like the other coaches. So it is designed just to be illuminated at this end. So I guess this goes at the end of your train. So I suspect this is going to be the most heavy out of the 3 coaches, so I'm going to put this one on the scales and see how much it weighs. So this coach weighs 167 grams. So it's certainly been interesting to check out these old Marklin coaches. The blue one I think is the dullest of the 3 in terms of the finish. It does have that interesting light setup. Again, it's only for 3 rail though. This DSG Spieswagen is, I think, the most attractive one. I like the large windows, however, it does highlight the fact it doesn't have any interior. And so probably the best out of the bunch here is this Trans-Europe Express one. It's got the wire handrails, as does the DSG one, but the windows aren't quite so big, so you can't really see in quite as easily as you can on the other one. So it makes for a more convincing model. However, all 3 of these coaches are showing their age. They're definitely not up to today's standards, and they probably aren't even prototypical length or even actually prototypical to begin with. They're just representative, I suspect. But they are good old survivors, and they've lasted this long, and I hope that they last for many years longer. I'm sure these models would still run no problem at all on any track, and they could continue on for many years to come, but I think they've actually got appeal as little display models due to their vintage looks and their appeal, especially the colours on the red and the cream. But that's just what I think. What do you think about these coaches? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. And if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I'll put the Trans-Europe Express one on the turntable so you can see all the way around, and in a moment another video will appear. Just click on that and I'll see you there. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. See ya.
So model train, model words, choo choo, model train, tiny,